very good morning to all our viewers. You're watching the Breaking on CNN News 18 with me, Sakshi Singh Litoria, here to walk you through the top headlines from the nation and across the globe. At the top of this segment, tracking the biggest headline of the hour, which is Prime Minister's visit to the United States of America. In fact, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has already kicked off his 3-day visit to the United States, and during this jam-packed visit, which is of course the part of Quad Leaders Summit as well, Prime Minister conducted bilateral meetings with the US President Joe Biden, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida as well. In his opening remarks itself at the Quad Summit, Modi sent out a very clear and strong message to the world that the Quad is here to stay, assist, partner and complement as well. He in fact also reaffirmed India's commitment to the Quad cooperation for a free and open Indo-Pacific. Following this, Prime Minister Narendra Modi in fact also arrived in New York, where he received a rousing welcome from the Indian diaspora. Prime Minister Modi now is also due to address the Summit of the Future at the United Nations General Assembly. He will in fact also chair key bilateral meetings in New York during his visit.
हमारा मैसेज साफ है, क्वाड इज हियर टू स्टे, टू असिस्ट, टू पार्टनर एंड टू कॉम्प्लीमेंट. हम किसी के खिलाफ नहीं हैं. हम सभी एक रूल्स बेस्ड इंटरनेशनल ऑर्डर, संप्रभुता और क्षेत्रीय अखंडता के सम्मान और सभी मसलों के शांतिपूर्ण ढंग से हल निकालने का समर्थन करते हैं. फ्री, ओपन, इंक्लूसिव और प्रॉस्परस इंडो पैसिफिक हमारी साझा प्राथमिकता और साझा प्रतिबद्धता है. हमने मिलकर हेल्थ सिक्योरिटी, क्रिटिकल एंड इमर्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजीज, क्लाइमेट चेंज, कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग जैसे क्षेत्रों में कई सकारात्मक और समावेशी इनिशिएटिव लिए हैं.
In practice, the Quad Cancer Moonshot means more collaboration between our hospitals, research centers, and cancer foundations, more investment in screenings, treatment, and research, and more exchanges between our countries to improve vaccination rates all across the region. Right now, only 1 in 10 women across the Indo-Pacific, which is the most populated part of the world, have received HPV vaccinations for cervical cancer. So I'm proud to announce that our 4 countries, the leaders behind me, and many organizations here today are committing over $150 million for HPV screening and therapeutics. And next year, doctors and nurses from the U.S. Navy will begin a program to train Indo-Pacific counterparts in conducting cervical cancer screening and vaccination so we can reach every woman in the region. And it matters. Folks, let me close with this. During my first year as president, I received a letter from a mother from Tennessee. She'd been recently diagnosed with cervical cancer. She said she experienced every emotion, from denial to anger to fear to grief. Jill and I remember those feelings as well. But when she asked herself, what am I going to do? Am I going to give up? Am I going to fight? She answered, I choose to fight. We've got to choose to fight. Choose to fight as a society. Ladies and gentlemen, today America, Australia, India, and Japan choose to fight.
And competitive market and enhance Quad resilience in semiconductor supply chains. Of course, there was discussion of multiple regional and global issues, and amongst them the need for the reform of the multilateral system of governance, including the UN Security Council. Just to give you a snapshot of India's own initiatives at this particular edition of the Quad, you know about India's leadership by way of digital public infrastructure. The Quad leaders on this occasion welcomed the Quad principles for development and deployment of digital public infrastructure. They will work to provide equitable access and improve public service delivery at scale. the Prime Minister announced a grant of $7.5 million US for making available HPV sampling kits, detection kits, and cervical cancer vaccines to countries in the Indo-Pacific as part of the Cancer Moonshot initiative. India will also offer technical assistance and capacity building on DPI in cancer care to interested countries from the Indo-Pacific through its commitment of $10 million to the WHO's Global Initiative on Digital Health. There's a commitment from the India in partnership with Gavi and the Quad to support orders of up to 40 million HPV vaccine doses for the Indo-Pacific region. India will also invest $2 million in setting up new solar projects in Fiji, Comoros, Madagascar, and Seychelles. The Quad partners agreed to launch a maritime initiative for training in the Indo-Pacific. It's called Maitri, to enable Indo-Pacific partners to maximize tools provided through IPMDA and other Quad initiatives. Last but not least, India announced a new category of scholarships for students of the Indo-Pacific region that would enable them to pursue four-year bachelor's level engineering programs at Indian government-funded technical institutes. Yes, one more point I would like to make. India will host the inaugural Quad Ports of the Future Partnership Conference next year, which will harness the Quad's expertise to support sustainable and resilient port infrastructure development across the Indo-Pacific. Apart from the Quad event, let me cover very quickly some themes in the Prime Minister's meeting with President Biden. As I had previewed in my briefing earlier this week, both sides on the occasion of this meeting exchanged agreements pertaining to the deposit of the instruments of ratification for Pillar 3 and Pillar 4 of the IPEF and the overarching agreement thereof. Foreign Minister Dr. Jaishankar and Secretary of State Tony Blinken also exchanged the agreement pertaining to a bilateral drug policy framework and the accompanying MOU. During the meeting itself, both sides discussed at length the ever-expanding agenda of the India-US Comprehensive Global Strategic Partnership, which has left no aspect of human endeavor untouched. They discussed ongoing cooperation in technology, in clean energy, in space, our engagement in defense and security, and of course the regional and global situation.
Well, that was Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri briefing us all about Prime Minister's visit to the USA and the meetings that have been held so far.